Welcome to the new Food Systems Practitioner and Educational Resource Database. This brief video will walk through the website and how to create a practitioner and educational resource profile. This database was created with funding support from a cooperative agreement with USDA Agricultural Marketing Service and AgMark. It is managed by ISU Extension and Outreach, Farm, Food, and Enterprise Development, and had support from numerous partners throughout both phases of the project starting in 2019. The goal for the database is to aggregate and identify educational resources to improve the competencies of food systems practitioners through various levels of learning that in turn stabilizes and strengthens our food systems workforce. You can engage in the website in multiple ways, including a search option that has various different tools. So on this search feature, I can look all across the nation and also even zoom out broader. So hopefully someday we'll have practitioners and resources across the globe. Additionally, what you see is a heat map of where resources are located currently. So in these yellow spaces, there's more folks. So as you zoom in, you'll see those spread out. In this space, you'll also notice that these icons are colored in. So the filled icons represent state or local resources or practitioners. The people are practitioners and the book is an educational resource. As we zoom out, I'll show you an example of a national resource. So these that are icons that are not filled in is a national resource. Okay, we're gonna start with the basics. So on this website, you can toggle to a more specific search at the top. You can also learn more about the database and competencies as well as FAQ. We're going to start with the FAQ tab. So this primarily shares facts about the database, ranging from what information will be requested from profiles, requirements. There are also several other useful resources that connect to food systems that just work a little bit differently than what we've created here. Additionally, if you have any troubleshooting or need technical support, Kaylee Hohenschell's address is here. So this is a clickable link that will pull you to an email. The Competencies tab details how the national team determined food systems competencies and the breadth of categories that exist. There are various categories, themes, competencies, and learning objectives identified. Why this is important is because in addition to showing the breadth of areas that food systems can touch, this is also the platform used to share about your educational resources. It may be helpful to download either the Excel, PDF, or Word document and think through what your educational resource teaches before filling in that profile. Note that there are 3 different levels of learning, ranging from knowledge, doing and teaching, or beginner, proficiency, and expert. On this page, you can also toggle between the various categories if you'd like to just look at them that way. The downloadable links bring you to a page that is editable. So if you're looking at using your own educational resource, you can simply go through and select what you're teaching and download that and then use it to create your profile. Okay, back to the database. The About tab shares more basics about our mission, purpose, and scope for the database. It was important for us to share that this is a resource that is publicly available to identify food systems practitioners and educational resources. However, we will not be accrediting resources that are shared. We will be reviewing those profiles though and making sure they are accurate. Last, and potentially the reason you are here, is the search feature. So now that you know kind of how to create a profile, I want to show you how you can also search. So there's 2 options. There's the educational resource search and a practitioner search. We're going to start with educational resource. So you would choose the competency that you're looking for. And again, you can choose more defined terms. So let's say we're also looking at common language for food systems and the technical pieces. Once I hit the search button, that will populate a map. And then you can also scroll down to see more information about those various resources. The second way you can do a search is for practitioners. So similarly, you can choose a competency area. So we'll do the same search that we did prior. And then this shows your practitioners. And then again, you can find information about each of those practitioners as you scroll down. You can also search by organization if you're interested. So you can do that search. I'm going to remove the competencies. And then I can find that there's one person from the Center of Agricultural Development and Entrepreneurship. Okay, and for the search to be useful, our goal is to have more people engage in the website and create profiles. So to finish this video, I'm going to walk through profile creation. First, we're going to create a profile for Krista Hartsook, who manages our small farms program at Iowa State University Extension and Outreach. So for this, since it's new, we'll hit register. Some of these are mandatory. When you see this asterisk, that means that that is required. Ones that do not have the asterisk, you do not have to participate in. In this case, the primary organization, you can see if your organization already exists. If it does, select that. If not, there is an other at the bottom, and then you'll have a text field that you can include. Secondary affiliations are other maybe universities that you work with or nonprofits. Similarly, you can choose one if it exists, or you can select other. In this case, I'm going to do other for Krista, and then for her competencies, I will list food systems because that does include the production side of things. And then I'm going to make up a password that we will change after this. And then we hit register. Krista, in this case, will get an email with the information she just provided and sharing more about login information about the database. Okay, so we're going to log in now. And now I am logged in. So the thing that changes differently is you'll see your name in the top right corner. So once you're logged in, you can go back to your practitioner profile and you can edit information. So you will see now I can add in a website. I can edit my competencies simply by hitting this edit button. Also add additional areas of work. If you're working city, state, county, the breadth of your work. And then also I can put in bios. And then if I have additional resources like websites or publications or those types of things that I wouldn't necessarily add as an educational resource, but I think could be useful, those are going to be in additional resources. So in that case, in this small column, I would put in the title, and in this larger one would be your log or your website. Also at the bottom is where we can add new educational resources. So I'm going to click the new educational resource. You can see that there's a lot more information than a practitioner profile here. Okay, so what we're going to do for the educational resource then is we're going to use an example of Market Ready that we teach in Iowa. While this is an option to teach across the nation, we're going to just focus on the Iowa one that is taught virtually. So again, our title needs to be in. Our organization is Iowa State Extension and Outreach. Competencies, Market Ready is a virtual workshop series to help Iowa farmers sell food to restaurants, grocery stores, food service buyers, and schools. Topics include communications and relationship building, packaging and labels, supply and delivery, post-harvest handling for produce, grading, insurance, regulatory issues, and marketing. So I'm just going to show a couple of those examples of how we would add those in. So first was relationships. So I'm going to choose community capacity. So building trust and relationships. So I would hit, I would go through those relationship development. Another one that was mentioned was food safety. So post-harvest handling for produce. I've already gone through and added for food systems. So you can see that we've selected production in terms of scale and practices. Those market channels, again, for scale of what type of market you're looking at, and then those food safety regulations and GAP and FSMA. Please note that after you save this, you can go back and edit too. All of the rest of the categories are also required. So in our case, method of delivery is online. Our audience is farmers. Our location is statewide. We'll select Iowa. The length of time, I am unsure, but we need that in here. So I'm going to put 20 hours and that can be edited later. Our fee, we do have a fee to participate. It's $20. And then you do get a completion certificate. Our website is here. And then we teach in English currently. Then you can add a description. Once you hit add, you will see this new educational resources added. Hit OK, and you'll get email about that. And then if we want to see it, we would go back to search. So now that I've added that resource, we're going to come back to search just to show you that it pops up right away. Again, you could also go through educational resource. So we would find it in the food systems production because that was one of our main categories. And we see it pop up here. So you can click on Market Ready to find more of that information. It's all linked back to those profiles too. You can see more of those websites, etc. All right, well, thank you for listening in to the video, and please reach out if you have any questions.